Hi, I am Shallalla. I am a creativity coach who specializes in working with singers, and this is my the second part of me analyzing Lady Gaga's the Chromatica interview with Zane Lowe. And you made this video happen. I did the first part, and it reached 100 likes within 3.5 days, which is crazy and amazing. And thank you very much. And it showed me that you want to see more. So here we go. I rewatched like the first part 5 minutes ago so that I don't repeat myself too much. In that we talked about fame as a toxic byproduct and its unfortunate connection to success. I am quite curious as to what this next part brings. So here we go.
It's proven to be challenging for me. I'm not complaining about it. To be honest, when this super virus happened, I did not want to put this album out. I was like, how can we do something more specific to help the world? And how can I use my humanity to focus on something that I believe to be infinitely more important than what even like I feel that I've been through, which is
It seems to me that she does not make a difference between her humanity and her creativity. I love that.
what the medical community's done. And it made me also think about those helpers to the world and how their mental states are and how they don't necessarily have the help that they need. And after this is all, over, whatever that means, or gets better, whatever that means, who's going to be there to support them? So I had to stop because I still do have the ability and perspective to put things that are bigger in before myself. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say?
It does.
Like I don't lack self-awareness. I do understand that I'm not the only human on the planet that suffers, and actually
In the very first Lady Gaga reaction video that I did to the interview, I found a way to love myself again. There was something said by the voice-over narrator. It made me really angry. I ended up editing it out of the video because it was like me ranting for 5 minutes. It said something like, she, meaning Lady Gaga, always finds a way to be in the spotlight. And everything that I've heard from her, from this artist, points towards being of service. Whether that is making music in order to make people happy, in order to make people dance, in order to connect to people. And when the pandemic hit, she just repeated it. She said she stopped that and in order to being of service in a more concrete way in front of her music. So I actually like to call that voice-over narrator, or the people who wrote that, I like to call them out, because in my opinion, she is the opposite of an attention-seeking pop star.
Actually, I think I have it pretty fucking good, and I'm very grateful for what I have, but I'm also honest in being able to say, I wrote a song on Chromatica called 911, and it's about an antipsychotic that I take, and it's because I can't always control things that my brain does. I know that, and I have to take medication to stop the process that occurs.
Are these the dolls in the diamond boxes?
Yeah, keep my doll.
Don't you just love Zayn and how dead on he is with his observations? He restores some of my faith in journalism. In my opinion, and well, everything that I say is in my opinion because I don't claim to know some kind of super truth. So in my opinion, she is fighting so hard to be accepted as a human being and not as some kind of plastic pop star Barbie. You can tell that it's an evergreen topic for her.
Side diamond boxes, save it till I know I'm going to drop this front I've built around me, oasis, paradise is in my hands, holding on so tight to this status. It's not real, but I'll try to grab it, keep myself in beautiful places, paradise is in my hands.
So that song arrives at a crucial moment in the album, which is around halfway, and at the start of
Yeah.
the second act. And I love how Chromatica is broken up into 3 acts.
Yeah.
The first act starts with one of the most beautiful string arrangements that I've heard in a very, very long time. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm getting goosebumps just describing it.
That makes me so happy. Me and Morgan made that.
It's so incredible, and the transition into Alice is so perfect. What does that string arrangement at the start, Chromatica 1, what does that symbolize for you?
I think that the beginning of the album really symbolizes for me what I would call to be the beginning of my journey to healing, and what I would hope would be an inspiration for people that are in need of healing, you know, through happiness, through dance. And that's in what I would call radical acceptance. And radical acceptance is this concept that, for example, I know that I have mental issues. I know that they can be sometimes rendering me non-functional as a human, but I radically accept that this is real, right? And so it goes right into this sort of like this grave string arrangement that Morgan and I made together, where you feel this sort of pending doom that is what happens if I face all the things that scare me. And I say then for Alice, I say my name isn't Alice, but I'll keep looking for Wonderland, meaning I'm not giving up. I'm not throwing in the towel. It's very early on in all of this, you know,
She's so amazingly open about all of this, opening up about her mental health issues, which I think is so necessary to bring some change into the world. Radical acceptance. You cannot. This is a very simple truth. You cannot change something if you don't accept that it is there in the first place, and that is plain common sense. And I think what she says here, when she says finding Wonderland, I think this works as a metaphor quite well in terms of meaning, like finding meaning, making it.
some dark conversations with Blood Pop about how I felt about life.
And the first lyric on the album official is, "Could you pull me out of this alive?"
Yeah, I mean, I meant it, and
Could you pull me out of this alive? It is such a difficult topic. These dark conversations about life that she mentions, and I don't want to say anything that makes someone hurt even more. So please keep in mind that I am on your side. And if anything at all, then I want to help someone to relieve some pain. So let's say that you are in a very dark place. Where that is important, where the only physical danger comes from yourself. So you're basically safe if it weren't for the thoughts in your head. And what I would love for you to do is to look at the situation differently. Instead of saying, I'm having a bad day, or this is my depression again, try to look at it from the meaning perspective and say something like, meaning is leaking out of my life right now. What can I do to plug that leak up? And what can I do to restore some meaning? Your mind, it doesn't like to be idle. It's like a puppy. It likes to chew on something. And actually, I like that image. That puppy will chew up your favorite pair of shoes unless you give it something different to chew on, unless you give it a bone. And don't allow your mind to dwell on this negativity. Oh, I'm depressed. Don't allow your mind to chew that shoe. Instead, hand it the meaning bone. Like, here, chew on this, right? How can I make meaning right now? What could I do that gives me a sense of purpose? how can I, in this given situation, badness, bad feelings and all, how can I opt to matter? Your brain is a beautiful machine, and if you feed it the right question, then it will help you to arrive at an answer.
Still mean it.
I know there are times when physically we reflect what's going on mentally and emotionally. And
Yeah.
there becomes a physical reaction. It's called a panic attack. But it all
Yeah.
starts with this idea, unless, of course, you're under physical threat. For the most part, when we suffer from mental health issues, which I do as well, it starts from something internal. And is that ultimately
Yeah.
what you're looking to be pulled out of? I mean, it's an eeny, meeny, miny,
Yeah.
mo. But for me, it was like, pull me out of my mind, pull me out of my state.
Yeah, I say, could you pull me out of this alive? Meaning anyone, right?
Exactly.
Or
Yeah.
or me, could you? Can I? Right? Where's my body? I'm stuck in my mind. When I get stuck in that that trauma response feedback in my brain.
When she says, where is my body? Getting out of your mind and into your body often helps to restore meaning. Depression is basically standing still. It's your thoughts telling you, don't even bother to get up because things will never change. I used to live in an ashram where they would run various different types of yoga classes, including yoga against depression. And people would think that it was something very calm and relaxing, when in fact it was the opposite. It was pretty heavy cardio style yoga, something that activates your whole body. And I'm just wondering, what is your experience with that? Were there situations where you, I don't know, you danced the bad feeling away or you sung it away? Let me know in the comments. And feel free to ask questions because I really love talking with you.
And I have no concept of my body at all. I'm completely in my head. And then I say, I'm tired of screaming at the top of my lungs, things I used to do upstairs before I'd come down into the studio with Blood Pop. I'm in the hole, I'm falling down, so down. My name isn't Alice, but I'll keep looking for Wonderland. So it's kind of this, it's this weird experience where I'm going, I'm not sure I'm gonna make it, but I'm gonna try. And that's where the album really begins. And we put it together in this way, but that string arrangement, Chromatica 1, Act 1, it's essentially setting the stage for like a more cinematic experience with this world that is how I make sense of things. How do I make sense of myself when I feel this way? I make sense of it by going, this is a mental issue. I radically accept that I have it. And although I feel completely disconnected and offline, I am still going to pursue Wonderland. I'm still going.
One more time, I have to applaud her for her courage. And I feel disconnected, but I'm still going to pursue Wonderland. I mentioned Dr. Joe Dispenza in the first part and his process of reprogramming your mind. And one thing that he will tell you and that he would tell her as well is sometimes going the next step, even if it is the right one, it won't feel right. Maybe you remember in the first part of the Chromatica interview, Lady Gaga, she said, I am your sadness, come back to me. If you have been a sad person for a long time, and this is ingrained in your brain, when you start acting like a happy person, do you think that your sadness is going to cheer you on? No. It will do anything to pull you back. And she understands that. The feedback you receive from your own mindset might not be true.
Going to look for something that I do not have right now, and maybe it is through just simply trying. I think that being brave is hard, but it's synonymous in many ways with trying.
I totally.
Being brave is synonymous with trying. It's a bit wordy, I admit that, but I think that would make a great tattoo.
Agree. This album has so much yearning in it. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about it, is that we're all on this path in our own way. And,
Yeah.
you know, I think back timeline-wise to art pop.
Okay. I'm not quite sure whether I really want to launch into the being brave is hard thing that she said a few seconds ago. Let me just say this. Yes, being brave is hard. And that is exactly why artists are vitally and crucially important, because they are brave. Brave enough to make an album that is packed with yearning, an album that explores what it means to be human.
Pop. That was a big, bold, massive artistic pop statement that at the time felt like it kind of divided. It divided, and fans loved it and critics were confused by it, and it felt like such a huge step towards the club, almost a giant leap, right? That people were just like, whoa, crazy, crazy, crazy.
It was too soon.
It was too soon. And that's what I was going to say. In a weird way, this feels kind of like it's related and you had another crack at it. Like, I can actually nail what I set out to do last time. Is that fair?
I think culture was just like more ready now than they were then. Art pop was very rebellious. I would not adhere to one look. I would adhere to every look. I said my art pop could mean anything. And when I, as an artist, raise my hand and go, I will not subscribe to any archetypical behavior just because it makes the world comfortable, they go, fuck you, I'm not comfortable. and to be honest, I went through a phase which I stand by. I stand by everything I've done. Like, when I am an old lady and I'm on my deathbed, I'll know that my legacy is authentic, because I've always made things that felt true to me. And
there's so much talk about authenticity, about being authentic in your art or in your life. It's my feeling that it got really abstract, that something that people are searching for, like they are searching for the meaning of life, not realizing that there is nothing like that, like neatly packed with a big ribbon on top, just somewhere out there for you to find. Being authentic is exactly that. It's be truthful to yourself. It's process. And be aware that your truth can and will change. And also on that topic, living an authentic life does not automatically mean that you'll be happy all the time. I'd say, in fact, if happiness is your sole goal, then authenticity might have to leave the room pretty fast. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope you do, because I always hope that my observations are of value to you, at least some of them. And if they are, please consider subscribing to my channel and give this video a thumbs up, because as soon as it hits 100 likes, I will produce the third part. But let's continue with this part for now.
perhaps in that moment, I knew in some type of way, subliminally, that we would be having this conversation years later, that it would all be okay because it was real, it happened, and it is relevant. And what I'm making now is it's a reminder of the freedom that I have as an artist, but also my absolute love for electronic music, my absolute love for the ability for a computer to make something that is
Soulful.
so visceral and soulful. I mean, the bulk of this album was made inside a computer. I mean, I played with modular synth, I played with real synth. I gave Blood Pop, what I would play on the piano. We'd input it as MIDI, and then we would play with inversions and produce the record and make the song. And then, I mean, I gotta say, Zane, I've been in this business a long time. I've never seen so many producers be willing to pass around music and be like, what do you think, man? And have it be a conversation. And if we didn't use somebody's production, it was no big deal. It was like everybody was in service of the song, which made me feel so loved as the writer, because
this would not be my reaction video if I didn't bring up Julia Cameron at least one time. Remember, she's the author of The Artist's Way. And in one essay, she talks about how society and critics, they like to pitch artists against each other as if we are bitter enemies and nothing else but competitors. Look at the Grammys or the Oscars. There can only be one winner. And so there's this image of the lone artist that doesn't play well with others, and that is just not true. The truth is that artists love other artists, and I love that she expresses this here.
When I write a song, I want it to sound the best that it could be. I also want it to interpret what I'm saying the best that it can interpret it. And it was like this beautiful way of my friends saying, I see you, and me having this talk with them about how to get me out of this alive.
This is really the biggest thing that you can do for an artist, or actually for every being that has a heartbeat. See them for what they are. And that's it for today. As I said before, if you are interested in more, hit the like button. As soon as there are 100 likes on this video, I'll do the next one. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye.